All right, this may not come to a surprise of any of y'all, but Hue Jackson's is as big of a clown as we thought he was. Backtracking his statements he made earlier this week that he was offered money to lose games while he was the head coach at Cleveland, I'm going to break down everything going on with the story, as well as give you my 2 cents on the whole situation. And boy, Hue's about to have it. But if you could first, like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, share this video with your friends. It really helps the channel out a lot. We are growing like crazy. All right, so Hue Jackson, the clown, the man himself, is backtracking saying, I was never offered money to lose games while I was in Cleveland. Well, that goes directly against what he said earlier this week. For those of you who don't know, this all stemmed from Brian Flores suing the NFL, the Miami Dolphins, the New York Giants, and the Denver Broncos in a case of racism. There's some leaked text messages that came out from Bill Belichick. He's saying he was overlooked, or he was brought in for a sham interview with the Giants, this, that, and the other. But another main story that came out of this was that he was offered $100,000 to lose games when he was the head coach of the Miami Dolphins from the owner so they could tank for the #1 pick. And of course, when we have a serious allegation, serious lawsuit, some credibility to this stuff, lots of stuff to go through with all that stuff, Hue Jackson, who's Mr. Irrelevant, Mr. Useless, hasn't coached in the NFL in years, comes in and has to insert himself in the situation like, yeah, I was definitely offered a lot of money to lose games in Cleveland. Yeah, well, look at that. He is backtracking as per usual, and he got nuked from orbit from Jimmy Haslam. What a friggin' joke, Hue. This is the same shit that happened when you got fired in Cleveland. You did your media rounds during the season, talk about Baker, this, that, Cleveland, the disaster. Dude, you're a terrible head coach. You were, what, 3 in a million when you were in Cleveland? I think you started, yeah, let's see. Cleveland. Oh, you were 1 in 32, 31? 1 in 31 in 2 seasons as head coach of the Cleveland Browns to start your tenure? Why aren't you a millionaire if you were paid money to lose games in Cleveland? Yeah, it was the owner wanting you to lose games. You're doing a disservice to us. Oh, and then you were 2-5-1, and you got shit canned. Who'd have guessed 3 wins in 3 seasons in Cleveland? Great work, Hue. Elite head coach. So here are the statements earlier. He implies, trust me, it was a good number. La. Always something with you, talking this nonsense. Dude, you were just dog shit. And you're trying to latch yourself on to this thing you talked about. Oh, I'm going to talk to their lawyers, get involved in this stuff. Blah, 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 blah. All this talk from Hue. He just wants to be relevant. He's irrelevant. Nobody cares about him. He's a terrible coach. Simple as that. So now he came out this week. Oh, he backtracked on CNN. He said, no, I was never offered money like Brian had mentioned. Yeah, probably because someone said he was going to get sued for defamation for insinuating this stuff. These aren't just lolly-law allegations. You can't just say shit about people, okay? You gotta have some, especially when they were your former employer, you're like in the NFL. You have to like have a higher standard to that. You can't just make shit up. I mean, so stupid. But then he said what Jimmy was doing was destructive, not to do this because it was going to hurt his career and every other coach he worked with. And I told him that it hurt every black coach that would follow me, and I have the documents to prove this. Sure you do, Hue. Sure you do. Okay, why are you talking about this now? You didn't talk about this at all when you were fired. You were fired years ago, bro. Why didn't it come out then? This should be a right story. Brian Flores came out right away with this story when he was let go and he was passed over. And realized he called it out right away. Hue? No, I'm just gonna hide it. Bullshit. Bullshit, Hue. You're Polish bullshit. Just a friggin' liar. So stupid. But Jimmy Haslam had some quaint things to say about Hue Jackson and nuked this man from orbit. Say what you want about Jimmy Haslam. Not a great owner. Not really even a good owner. The Browns are a poverty franchise, as we know. But still, I just love it when people come out and talk shit, and then rich guy comes out, billionaire, either A, threatens the lawsuit, and you have to backtrack like a little dog with your tail between your legs, or you get nuked from orbit, which is my personal favorite. Forget the lawsuit. Let's just nuke people from orbit talking mad shit. Hue Jackson is my favorite quote. Hue Jackson has never accepted any responsibility for a record during that time period. He's been masterful at pointing fingers, but has never accepted any blame. I have accepted a ton of blame, and rightfully so. There are a lot of things I could have done better, but Hue has never accepted blame for one thing. Classic. Jimmy Haslam still saying, yeah, like everyone knows the Browns were bad. It was a bad, terrible. But they made the playoffs 2 years ago, won a game. Good for the Browns. Great for them, But he was like, yeah, Hue, you're terrible. I just showed y'all Hue's record. He's horrible. It's so funny. Yeah, you won 1 game in 2 years, bro. Yeah, that was it. You drafted Deshaun Kaiser in the 3rd round. You couldn't win a game, bro. You went 0-16. Like, Hugh, that's on you. You have to accept the responsibility as a coach. The Browns were not that bad of a roster, okay? They weren't terrible. Look at the Lions. They're falling apart. They're not very talented this year. They won 3 games at a tie because they have a good coach who makes the players play hard. Nobody likes you. You got totally exposed, Hugh. You were on Hard Knocks with Baker your final season before you got fired, and it looked like a complete dumpster fire, dude. You looked like you had no idea how to coach. You were operating in like the 80s or something. It was just so weird to see. You're not a good coach. He goes on to talk about, he couldn't think of any individual he's worked for in the past 45 years. Spent as much time trying to help be successful as he did Hugh. When the roster was really, really good, they were 8 games in. They were 2-5-1. Perfect. They went 5-3 as soon as he's fired. There's your number right there. 5-3 as soon as he was fired. Now, of course, they struggled again with Freddie Kitchens next year, but then instantly went and won the playoff game with Kevin Stefanski. So, yeah, Hugh, it's on you. There's a reason why you don't have another coordinator job, other stuff like that. Now, maybe you could say retired, this, that, and the other. But yeah, if you were talented and this wasn't on you, you would have another job. Brian Flores instantly had a ton of offers, is a finalist for the Houston Texans job as soon as he's let go because people think he's a good coach because he's probably a good coach. Not a great person for a character thing in the locker room and or the organization, according to some reports out of Miami. But who knows? Just seems like a really grumpy guy, and some people don't want to work with that. But that's fine. But he can clearly coach football games. So you cannot. And you have to insert yourself in every situation because you're irrelevant. So, yeah, you've been out of the league for what? 3 years now? Yeah, it was last year, 2018. So, God, 4 years now. Just stop, Hugh. Stop. You can't be doing this, dude. Just grow up, man. Just stop always inserting yourself in the situation. Take some blame. Go back to the drawing board. If you want to coach again, go coach again and go be good. Don't try and pull a stunt like this when there's an actual situation going on with the Brian Flores, the NFL, and the lawsuit. Don't try and be this guy. I hate people like this. Oh, God, it's so frustrating. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Tell me how much a clown you think Hue Jackson really is. Anything like that. Yeah, again, like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, share this video with your friends, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.